Here we are in Iquitos, and as you can see, shiny face because of the sweat, a mixture of mosquito repellent, sun cream and bite remedies, and taking our malaria tablets. It's so different to be here, and like you get the two senses once you've come. So we really kind of, what have I done, and is this the best or the worst decision of our lives? But we arrived here at 6 p.m. in the evening on Saturday from Lima, and the first kind of thing that you notice is that rather than having the dust and the pollution of Lima, you suddenly get a smell of green leaves that comes through. And if you look down on the plain, all you see are rainforests everywhere. And so we arrived at Suyay. We were picked up by Yolanda, who's the owner, and we went back in a motor taxi, and we learned that there are actually about, I think, 14 volunteers in total who are around us. Some of them are down the river, other ones are here. We met some lovely Spanish people, all Spanish for now, and we made our home. So I know Daniel in his video does a tour of our room, so I'm not going to cover that. But gosh, how could I label the first few days? Just simply intense. So the first evening was lovely because we met everybody. We went and we had quite a normal everyday Peruvian snack meal, which was salchipapas, and we had that out in the town in a little cafe where of course Yolanda knows the owner because their child comes to this charity every day. So actually there are loads of children in the area. It's normal for people to have several kids, and it's quite fun because you can see even on the first day people are coming, like little kids are coming and hugging the other volunteers who they know. So yeah, first day went fine, and then we found a gigantic spider in the bathroom, which kind of kept descending, and this big. Daniel says it wasn't, but he couldn't see properly because he didn't have his glasses, and it just was enormous and a bit scary. And there was a little frog jumping about in our shower because the frogs climb in through the holes and they're tiny, but because they're slowly drying out, whenever they get a bit of water they get very excited and start hopping about, which is the worst kind of thing when you're trying to have a shower and there's a frog jumping around. And as Daniel says in his one, a frog jumped onto Daniel's face. But there are no cockroaches, so I'm quite happy, and it's all lovely and it's so beautiful outside, so I hope we can show you some of that as we go. So yeah, yesterday was a day of, they call it acampamiento. So it was like a camp day for the children, special day on a Sunday. And all the kids from the area, like 40 of them, came over, and we did activities, games. But the scariest thing at the beginning is when the kids know the volunteers and you're by yourself. And maybe they know you, and I've been before for a month, 3 years ago to Suyay. So some of them remember me, like one girl, Fatima, remembers me really well, which was so nice because she came to say hi to me that evening before. But the rest of them, you got to go and meet them. And how do you meet a child when they don't understand that you speak another language? And, you know, worse for Daniel, but even for me as well, I can't understand a child when they're speaking very quickly or when they're mumbling, and a child gets embarrassed, they don't want to repeat. So it's quite difficult, but actually we just found that the way to get through children is through playing with them. So the first day, of course, I guess it's like you're trying to get used to the routine. It's weird because, you know, when you live in, when you have a job and you have a flat and you've got your fridge, you kind of know where your food is, you know what you're doing, you know what your free time is, when's work. And here it's just all about trying to work it out all over again. So, you know, a lot for us was hanging around going, gosh, are we meant to be working? Are we meant to be looking like we're doing something? Or is this a meal time? Or where do we get food? And are there any fruits? Because can't see many fruits or vegetables around the place. And when can we just relax and be to ourselves? Because we've got the room to ourselves for now, but we'll actually have to share in the future because there'll be loads of volunteers and they're going to have to string up hammocks everywhere. So that's another level, and like how it's like your very privacy. How are we going to work that out? So a lot of it is just working things out right now. And I was kind of worried last night, and I thought, we'd had a lovely day with the children, made some lovely friends, and we kind of finished it all with them lying on us, and we were all around a bonfire, watching the flames in the evening, which was great. I'm completely mosquito bitten, but built some lovely relationships with some of the children. And then that evening I was just wondering to myself, how can we help? How can we actually help with there being so many volunteers, so many projects, and yet it all seems so busy, so many things are happening and we're not quite sure what's going on. And I started really questioning myself and thinking, are we meant to be here? Because so it can be quite bad when you give up what is a professional job, and then you find yourself looking after children, and you think, wait a minute, have I gone back in time? What about projects? What about big ambitions and things I want to do? I would love to help people with my business skills. But then I had to step back and think, actually, who am I thinking about right now? Am I thinking about helping people, or am I thinking about helping myself? And of course the problem is the latter, because you're just programmed. So I'm just trying to think now, firstly, this first week, even if we aren't helping people as much as we could, we're learning the ways, we're helping people where we can. And I guess the thing for Daniel and I is just to listen and learn, and to just find out about people, their lives, and what they want and need. We've already heard some horrible stories about children whose families have either broken up, or the child has been sent to work at the age of 10, or children who are living with their boyfriend and their family at the age of 13. So there's quite a lot of need for help here. It's just working out how best to give it. And I think the best way you can start off is by giving your love and attention to a child and building those relationships with them. So we've got the children coming in the afternoon, our first bit of free time today. Wanted to share it with you, but that's the intention then for the next week, to keep us going, and we'll let you know how it goes.